Hey there, I'm professional psychic Karen Marie, and this is Psyched Up for Sunday, November 21st, 2021. Thank you to all my new subscribers and for my old ones, those of you who watch every week, and those of you that have been sharing this with your friends. I really appreciate it. Please keep it up, keep sharing it, sending it to those people you think might be interested in it. And for those of you who haven't already, please subscribe. So today I'm going to talk about the transits for this upcoming week, and then I'll be doing mini readings for all 12 signs. And this is for your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or if you have a stellium, which means 3 or more planets in a sign. So make sure you check out all the videos that are going to be appropriate to you. I'll be putting the timestamps below so you can find the ones that resonate for you. So today we have the sun at the very last degree of Scorpio. So it takes the sun 30 days to move through a sign. It moves a degree every day, starting with 0 and moving to 29. So when it gets to the 29 point, as it has today, it is the wrapping up of the lessons that the sun has been trying to teach us during the transit of this sign. It's the final exam time. So what are the lessons of Scorpio? The lessons of Scorpio are listening to your intuition, diving deep within yourself, getting some deep level therapy and realizations about your inner world and inner working. Scorpio is the deep, dark water, so we can go deep within ourselves. It's also about boundary setting with ourselves and how we set boundaries with other people. Those are just some of the themes of Scorpio. So you may have found yourself being tested today on any one of those things. Have you been listening to your intuition and following its direction? Have you been taking action based on your intuition? Have you been saying what you needed to say? It's the boundaries that you need to set. That's some of the things that may have come up today. So tomorrow the moon moves into Sagittarius, starting a whole new lesson plan. And Sag is the ruler of the ninth house. So this is about higher learning, belief systems, spiritual growth and development. It's about foreign travel and foreigners. So you can be finding these themes starting to ebb up into your life over the next 30 days. Like, what do you believe? You may be challenged to change or shift your deep level belief systems. What do you believe to be true about your own life? What do you believe to be true about the country you live in your world, your relationships, your work? All that may be brought up to be reconsidered. Tomorrow at Monday, when it's at 0 degrees, 0 can feel a little bit wiggy. It's changing the energy from one sign of intensity into like dropping into a whole new one. So it can have this kind of weird energy space. We also will be having the moon, which right now is in the last degrees of Gemini, moving into Cancer. The moon is the ruler of Cancer. So when the moon moves into Cancer, we can feel extra emotional. So tomorrow can be just this kind of weird day where we feel kind of nebulous and something feels different and new. We're not quite sure. We could feel emotional and just sort of, again, a shift in energies happening tomorrow. Sages are a fire sign. It's about socializing with other people. It's about really getting to know others. So interesting that we're headed into a holiday season during this fire sign season. So it does make us want to sort of get outside our box, learn new things, meet new people in general. But Cancer can make us want to just stay home and hide under a rock, stay in our shell where it's safe. So the next couple of days, as the moon is in Cancer, we may feel more homebound and not wanting to get out and be more social. So there's this weird energy between the sun moving into the fire sign and the moon going into a water sign, and that can be kind of disconcerting. So just know that, let it flow. I always recommend spending some time tapping into your own self, meditating, chanting, going for a walk, soaking in the tub, whatever you need to do so that you can ground within yourself and get your inner direction for each day. I think it's super important. So the sun, when it moves into Sag, it's already conjunct the South Node, which is sitting at 1 degree of Sag. The North Node is at 1 degree of Gemini. The nodes are always across the skies from themselves, and it's a point in the sky. It's not actually a planet. But the North Node is like dishing out the lessons that we're all collectively learning. And the South Node is about releasing, letting go. It's about past life information. So the sun is going to be conjuncting, meaning exactly connected to the south node on Tuesday. So the sun illuminates, it's our heart. So together with the south node can be past life information. So you can have past life flashbacks coming up, the sense of knowing something that's happened before in another lifetime. You could run into and meet people who you have a past life connection with. That's super common when we have planets conjuncting the south node. And then the north node across the skies is creating an opposition with the sun. So it can be highlighting the lessons of the north node in Gemini. So the nodes take a year and a half to move through a sign, and they move retrograde always. So they're wrapping up these lessons of Gemini. Gemini is the ruler of communication and ruler of our thoughts. It's the ruler of social media. So think of all the social media news that we've had over the last year and a half. And in January, the nodes will shift signs, and they'll be going into, the north node will move into Taurus and the south node will move into Scorpio, right? So we still have, even though sun is wrapping up its lesson in Scorpio, we still have Mercury moving through the last degrees of Scorpio. So that's about wrapping up the lessons of our communication and our thinking when it comes to these scorpionic energies. And then Mars is still in the mid decan of Scorpio. So it'll be a little bit longer with those lessons. So we are not completely through with the Scorpio season, and then we'll be feeling out Scorpio for the next year and a half. So I'll talk more about that as it gets closer to that in January. But just know, just like when the sun is at 29 degrees of a sign, it's wrapping up the lessons of that sign. When the nodes move to the 0 degree point, they're wrapping up the lessons, and right now they're at 1. So they've gone from 29 all the way to 1. Now they'll be wrapping up these lessons over the next couple months of what we are supposed to have been learning. The south node is what we're supposed to be letting go of in terms of old belief systems that no longer serve us, old spiritual beliefs that no longer resonate, right? These are some of the things that we're releasing and letting go of. So when the sun is conjunct the south node, it's illuminating these lessons of past life connections, what we're releasing, what we're letting go of. So that can be super emphasized on Tuesday with the sun conjunct the south node and opposite the north node. North node in Gemini is about where are our thoughts? How can our thoughts be helping us? How is our thinking? Are we thinking too much? Are we batting things back and forth in Gemini? Gemini's the twins. So there can be a lot of maybe this, maybe that, maybe this, maybe that, maybe this, maybe that, that's been going on. And so there could be something also that comes up in social media, ruled by Mercury, which is in Gemini, too, over the next couple of days. So it'll be interesting to see what hits the news, because Mercury is communication of all kind and information that goes out over the internet. So with the sun opposite, it's like a tug of war. It can pull up and out issues around this multimedia, marketing, communications of all kinds. And then the sun on the other side, conjuncting the south node, is about past life lessons, belief systems, that kind of stuff. So you could have some big ahas, maybe connect the dots with some things. Again, meet people that you have past life connections with, be able to see clearly an issue that may have been going down in your communication with someone else. So then we will also on Tuesday have Mercury at the very last degree of Scorpio. So that's the planet that represents communication, right? So so I just really feel like whatever's out there on the news, what's popping up all over social media this week should be more intensive than usual because of this energy. So I'm not sure, astrology is not, won't predict what's going to happen any more than the weatherman can predict a thunderstorm or a tornado. You can feel like the conditions are ripe for, doesn't mean it's gonna happen. But my sense is that there's some tension or something that may spill out all over social media because of where the planets are aligned, especially Tuesday in particular. Now we can start feeling any of these transits beforehand. We can feel them after. We just had the lunar eclipse early Friday morning. So we're still in the wake. We feel eclipses for 6 months out, right? And right now we're between eclipses. We just had the lunar eclipse. We'll be having a total solar eclipse on December 4th. So we're between eclipses, which is this weird vortex energy, that anything can happen. And we could speed up and move quickly through our lessons during the eclipse season. It can be a pivotal point in our life, like we could change directions in our lives. New people can come in, people can exit during the eclipse season, right? It can be a total change in trajectory. It reminds me of, if you ever watch Star Trek, is when you get into the transporter and get jettisoned onto another planet, onto another dimension. So this is what we're in, this kind of weird period right now, especially when we have these planets still in Scorpio too. So your dreams could be extra weird and psychic information can be just super, super interesting. That full moon lunar eclipse was also conjunct the star system of the Pleiades. So there could be some people who got some alien downloads with that lunar eclipse. Just saying. I didn't personally, but I know there's those of you out there who get those messages. So Mercury will go into Sag, joining the sun on Wednesday, and then we'll have the moon going into Leo, which with joining the sun in Sag will make us be feeling more social, just in time for the Thanksgiving holiday here in America on Thursday. We'll have both the sun and the moon in fire signs, which helps us want to be more social and connect with others. The sun will also be conjunct Vesta on Wednesday. Now, Vesta is an asteroid. Back in ancient Rome, Vesta, they picked a virgin to guard the sacred flame. Right. So, and she was often sacrificed at the end of her reign. And so I see Vesta personally as where we have sacrificed ourselves in past lives, where we're sacrificing ourselves in this lifetime. So with the sun conjunct Vesta, you can have that illuminated. Are there any areas where you're giving of yourself in a way that's not okay, that you're like losing yourself somehow? Is it in your relationships? In some form or fashion? Is it with your job? Is it, just in how you're living your life? It could be with an organization that you're even involved with voluntarily. If you're sacrificing yourself too much and you're feeling out of balance, that might be highlighted on Wednesday. Or again, anytime this week. The sun's already conjunct that today, even on the last degree of Scorpio. Vesta's just at 2 degrees of Sag. So anything within 10 degrees is considered conjunct. And then the closer the number is, the more potently we can feel the aspect. Mercury will be conjunct the South Node on Thursday, on Thanksgiving Day. So Mercury, again, communication, South Node, past life connections. Also Uranus, which is retrograde, moves from 12 degrees to 11 degrees. This is really about listening to your heart. Ones are about, I love, and I love some more. And so it's, a lot of us will be around people that we really love around the holidays. But with the Mercury conjuncting the South Node, there may be things that just spill out of your mouth. You may have information just come up for you. You might find yourself in a communication with a loved one and having a conversation about something that you would never have guessed you'd be talking about, or maybe they'll reveal something to you that you just didn't know. So it feels very positive to me, though, that there's a more positive energy around Thanksgiving, which is good, because we all know being with family can be tricky sometimes, but it feels like there's an extra sort of blessing energy around it this year. On Friday, we have Saturn sextiling Chiron. So they're both at 8 degrees. Saturn's at 8 degrees right now. Saturn's at 8 degrees and 19 minutes. And then Chiron's at 8 degrees and 46 minutes, it's going backwards. So they're already conjunct at 8 degrees, but they'll be getting more and more conjunct. So you can feel this sextiling of Saturn and Chiron all week long too. So Chiron is the wounded healer. It's where we're being shown areas that are in need of healing. At 8 degrees in Aries, it's really healing how we feel about ourselves. And Saturn is about setting boundaries. It's where we draw the line. It's the stop sign in the zodiac. It can be the parent energy. It can be the older, wiser person as well. Sextile is a positive relationship. So there can be an opportunity to set boundaries with ourselves in a way that's super positive and helpful. We may be able to like say no to the pumpkin pie, and the leftovers. We can, be able to communicate in a loving way, boundaries with our relatives, perhaps as well, and have a positive connection with, or being able to share something that was wounding about our childhood, our past life, with someone that we love. Those are just ways that I sense that could be coming up on Friday. We'll have the moon moving into Virgo by the weekend, Saturday, and the sun will be conjuncting Mercury over the next weekend as well. So the sun, our heart, Mercury, our thoughts, our communication coming together. So there can be some very powerful, warm-hearted communications this week. I really feel like this is a pretty tranquil week, all things considered, between eclipses. But as far as astrology goes, it feels mostly peaceful. Again, the first couple days could be kind of extra emotional. I feel like it's a great week for getting insights, being able to meditate, getting out of your head and into your intuition and into your heart, having really open-hearted communications with other people, being able to lovingly set boundaries with yourself and with others this week. Like we bringing the lessons that the sun has learned in Scorpio. We're gonna bring that energy into Sag now. Okay, I've learned how to tap into my intuition even better over this last 30 days. I've learned about where and how to set boundaries. And now I'm going to move forward and it's like practice, basically, is what I'm getting. One of the things I can see about Sages, though, is Sages can often open mouth, insert foot, and just like blurt out things. So you might also find yourself, especially with these Mercury conjunct the South node, Mercury and the sun getting together. I see when Mercury and the sun and Mercury, other planets get together, we can like bypass the brain and just channel things. So things could come out of your mouth that you may not mean to say, but are exactly the right things. You may not be able to hold back what you're getting intuitively. Like this is a great week for those of us that channel, to just have the information just running through the system. When I first started trying to develop my abilities back 35 years ago, I didn't realize I was a channel at initially, but then when I first had the channeling experience of having information just move through me, goosebumps on my face, electricity feeling, goosebumps down my arms, and having stuff just come out of my mouth that I knew, but my logical mind didn't know, I realized, wow, I've been doing this my whole life, just blurting stuff out and just having things pour out. So you may be having those experiences this week of just feeling like you just know things, or just out of your mouth is exactly what other people need to hear. So I would go with that, flow with that. I believe everybody can open up and develop their abilities in any way. It's like anybody can learn to play an instrument. Some people are going to be more musical, but you can learn how to beat a drum or play a piano or play a guitar. Everyone has psychic abilities. For some of us, the volume's turned up extra loud and we can't ignore it. Other people's volume is turned down or off. Doesn't mean you can't increase the volume. Tap into your intuition. Your intuition is tied into your higher self, your Buddha nature, your Christ self, your divine self, whatever you want to call the piece of you that goes on after the ego and the body gets put down. That higher divine self The intuition is the voice of that self. And so when you listen to and follow your inner voice, your psychic voice, your intuition, that is your internal GPS system. You will find that when you listen to and follow your intuition, there is a flow that develops in your life. You'll get confirmation from the universe that you're on the right track. Conversely, when you override your intuition, which we usually do with logical, rational mind, or what we've been told to do by other people, that's when we can block our intuition, do what we should do, what we're supposed to do, instead of following that intuition. That's when we can find ourselves off track, running into the red lights, running into the brick walls, feeling just like, ugh. So when you're listening to and following your intuition, you will find there is a flow, this beautiful ease that starts happening about your life. It may not feel easy initially. It may feel very dissonant to step away from what you've been told or what you've been programmed, or what your logical, rational mind would figure out, to follow your intuition. That I guarantee you, the more you listen to and follow your intuition, the louder your intuitive voice gets, the stronger it gets, the easier it is to follow, and the more you'll find that you're on the right track for your life. Intuition shows up differently for everyone. Some people are extra visual. They can see spirit guides. They can see auras. Some people are empathic, they're feeling other people's feelings. Some people are telepathic, they can know what other people are thinking. All the clairs, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, they're all manifested. All the senses can be heightened in an intuitive way. So you just have to know how it shows up for you. And if you need help with that, you can contact me and we can do some psychic development diving for you personally, and I can help you figure out how to turn up the volume for your own intuition. Okay, is there anything else? Not, I think that's all. Just we're going through a portal, peeps. We're going through a different energy, a different time warp. We're going to come out of this transformed. One thing that's interesting about this upcoming solar eclipse, it will be at 14, no, is it 12 degrees of Sagittarius, 12 or 14. Let me not tell you a false truth. What did I say? It's at 12 degrees of Sag. Okay, that's where the solar eclipse will be, at 12 degrees of Sagittarius. So interestingly, the United States rising sign is 12 degrees of Sag. So this solar eclipse that we're heading into the first part of December is going to be super powerful for the United States. And again, not only just on the day of the eclipse, but for the next 6 months. We'll also be having our Pluto return. We're already 3 degrees. The transiting Pluto is coming back around to the place it was in the skies when the United States was formed, July 4th, 1776. It takes about 250 whatever years to make its to return back to the point in the skies it was. So we've never experienced a Pluto return before in the United States. So this is unprecedented, but basically it's death and transformation, power and control. That's what Pluto represents, meets up with death and transformation, power and control. When it comes to the running of the United States government, we're going to see all kinds of transformational changes going on all next year. So it meets up for the first time in February. It's conjunct all year long into 2023. It's going to have 3 exact meetups next year, the first being in February. So again, we'll have the nodal shift. We've got all this transformational energy. This eclipse coming up on the United States rising sign, to me, is like a kickoff of this great change that we're heading into for 2022. You know, you think you've been through unprecedented times. We have been going through unprecedented times, but this should be extra explosive. Pluto's like a wrecking ball. So wrecking ball meets wrecking ball. That's what we're heading into next year. And of course, the United States is the leader for the whole free world. And so whatever happens here will have a ripple effect for the rest of the world. So it's going to be super interesting, transformational times that we're headed into. And this solar eclipse that we're heading into is the kickoff point. I think this lunar eclipse that we just had is actually the kickoff. But you know, anyway. So we'll have Venus go retrograde in December. It will be conjunct Pluto. Venus is the planet of love and relationships, who we love, what we love, how we receive energy. It's our money. United States Pluto is in the second house, which is where we have our money, where we store our money, where we store our food, how we value things. And so we could definitely have some volatility coming in, anything connected with money, banks, stock markets, currency, all that is up for transformation. So it'll be super interesting to see how that actually shows up. All right, let me take a swig of my water. And then we'll go into looking at the signs and reading for the week for all 12 signs, starting with the Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, or 3 or more planets in Aries. This is what the cards are saying. I use the Osho Zen Tarot deck for those of you that are interested in which deck I'm using. And I channel with them. So I see the image on the cards, and then I just go with what I'm feeling drawn to say as well. So. And we have the awareness card coming up for the Aries. So this is the aha realization. It's coming out from the shadows. It's seeing things in a clear new light. This can be downloads from spirit in our dreams. It could just be able to see through someone standing there talking and just knowing you're talking some BS or you're talking some truth. Like feels like your BS detector is extra turned up loud this week, Aries. It feels like you're getting some insights that you need to see. If there's a question mark, some areas that have been gray, you haven't been able to understand what direction, what you're supposed to be doing, what action to take, you're going to get a clear sense of what that direction is. Aha, realization, just seeing things soberly is what it feels like. That's the word I heard, seeing it soberly. So you may be putting down some addictive substances so that you can see more clearly. Sugar is the gateway drug, you know about that, right? So this is seeing clearly your path, what you need to know, what you need to see about another person, what you need to see about your own life, realizations that are coming for the Aries this week. I'm seeing in the shadow this hand holding up. It almost feels like there's this frantic, hold up, wait, no. And then like almost being afraid of hearing the truth or knowing what the truth is for you. But when you get the realization, when you get the information, it feels, like a relief to know directly what you're supposed to be saying, what you're supposed to be doing, how to take the next step, right? So this can be something, if you have a question, you can go into meditation, chanting, prayer with your question and just have no fear around seeing what the answer is. Because this is like, coming out from the shadows. This is like parting the curtains, seeing clearly, getting some illumination in a way that feels like relief and like clarity. All right, it's better to see and to know than to not know. Sometimes we think, I don't really want to know. But Aries are pretty darn curious. We usually want to know. I say we because I'm a triple Aries myself. So, okay, Tauruses. I'm hearing the little drummer boy for some reason. The little drumming. So I don't know if you've got some Tauruses that are musicians that may be playing the drums, playing music in some way, form or fashion. Maybe you're working at some Christmas songs already. I don't know. That's interesting. Okay, the control card is coming up. This is the lesson of what do you have power and control over and what do you not have power and control over? Like it's like the serenity prayer, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Like, what do you have control over? Do you have control over what things within yourself? Do you feel like you're losing control? Are you trying to control someone outside of yourself that's outside of your realm? things that you don't have any business trying to control? Is someone else trying to control you? Only you know the answer to this, Taurus, but it does feel like the gripping of the fist here I'm seeing is important to let go of control, like trusting your higher self, like trusting that you don't have to try to control the process. You don't have to try to control someone else. You don't have to let someone else control you. But it does feel like it's important to like drop into spirit and get right with yourself so that you know what the right action to take is. Because it feels like on a personal level, there may be like habits or behaviors that you can control. Other people, places, and things you can't control. Is someone else trying to have control over you? Does it feel right? Does it not feel right? It feels like you're trying to seek out some direction. And again, there's this tight fisted energy going on, gripping, trying to hold on. It feels like, no, trust your process, trust your higher self, trust your spirit guides, trust the people in your life. And if you get that this is energy that you need to step away from, you can trust that too. Like sometimes the lesson is I'm just seeing the download here through the crown chakra here, that it feels like you may be being cracked open, as it were, like you're needing to open up to spirit is what it feels like, and let go of trying to control the world or control things that you can't control, and just trust. Like if you can change this gripping to a receiving energy, I feel like you'll be better served this week. Like just turn it over to your higher self. I feel like there could be past life realizations coming up, like karmic patterns that are coming up, like that feels like you're repeating a karmic pattern, and there's an opportunity to shift and change that karmic pattern. So that is something that you can control. Again, all you ever have to figure out is the very next step to take. What today do I feel guided to do? That's all. And sitting with, because it feels like you could get riled up or angry or pissy about some situation. It feels like something could be coming to a head this week, Taurus. And it's just a matter of trusting your process, right? And that whatever situation, if you feel like you're up against a wall, that it won't always feel like this too shall pass. But this is about engaging with spirit, like calling in your spirit guides for help. You might have to call someone else up to get some insight and say, is this me? Is this something I can change? Is this something I can't change? Because it feels like you're fixated. Like you're obsessing over something, and it's like, okay, loosen the grip, loosen the mental, step away, and see if you can receive some insight and download about what the next action to take is, Tauruses. All right, Geminis. This is the burden card. This is when you're feeling weighed down, you're carrying the weight of someone else. It could just be, life is becoming a burden. Maybe you've stacked up some stuff you've been procrastinating about, and so it's creating a burden within yourself. So it's like, again, what is the next right step that you can take? What is the action you're feeling guided to do? Do you need to say no somewhere where you've said, yeah, I'll do that, I'll help you out, and then you're like weighed down, and then you're like, what did I say yes? Like this is, I'm getting, you're supposed to unburden yourself. And if someone else is being a burden on you, you may be having to carry a burden. I feels like there's some Geminis out there that are taking care of like an aging parent, or you have children and you're just feeling kind of wiped out. This is the need to drop the oxygen mask to yourself, find some respite, even if it's laying in bed before you fall asleep at night, to breathe deeply and center yourself and ask for help. Ask for spiritual direction, ask for what the next right step is, because it feels like you can't continue on like you've been doing. This could even be your own health challenges. You may be feeling physically heavy. Maybe you've been letting an eating disorder go cray cray and you've just gained too much weight. Geminis are in their heads. Sometimes you can overeat or drink too much, just to smoke too much to try to ground yourself. So it feels like you're spinning a little bit, and there's a need for inner direction. Need to step out of that Gemini mind that's batting it back and forth and just seek the inner stillness of your heart, of your intuition, and know that this too shall pass. There's the green hand here that's like there's a direction you could head that would lead you into get receiving healing. So this could be putting yourself on someone else's table, a massage therapist, a Reiki person, chiropractic, acupuncture. Like you may need to lay it down and receive some healing energy. Maybe even getting your nails done would be helpful. Like feels like you could really use some TLC this week, Gemini, and step out of the rat race. It just feels like you've been running a marathon and you're just tired and you're just having to plug away, and it just feels like life. It may be feeling like a burden. So it could be literal, so you're taking care of someone. It could just be your own life that feels like it's gotten heavy. Whatever it is, you need to tap into your higher self and spirit and breathe deep and like let the old stuff fall away and just get your direction for what feels right for you for this one day. Some things you may not be able to change. If you're taking care of a parent, if you're taking care of children, you can't just bail, right? But you can find a way to infuse some self-care in your day so it doesn't feel so like it feels like you're just metal on metal right now. So breathe deep and often, at least meditate, at least, spritz yourself with some essential oils, take a hot bath with some essential oils or bath salts. If you can get to a healer this week, or maybe you need to go see a doctor about something. I just feel like you need some help, and it's okay to ask for it. It's okay to call someone out and say, hey, I'm really struggling. Can you just listen to me vent for a while? Whatever it is, I feel like you need some support and you're depleted. So find a way to drop that oxygen mask to you, to yourself. Breathe more deeply, more often. If you can carve out extra time for meditation, just staring into a fire or staring into some water, to walk in the woods, anything that can help you defrag, you need that this week, Gemini. At least that's what I'm getting. All right, Cancers. I feel like y'all might get some extra psychic insights over the next couple of days as the moon moves into Cancer. Some direction, personal direction. It feels like it's coming in loud and clear for the Cancers over the next couple of days. The Change card is coming up. So you're in a transformational process is what it feels like. So whatever is going on today is not going to be the same thing that's going on next week, next month, next year. So you're shifting. Feels like you're changing some karmic patterns. So you may be in that disconcerting place where you've left what the old is, but the new hasn't arrived yet. Or maybe you're in the growth process and it's, it's like the pregnant woman who's like ready for the baby to be born, but is only 5 months. She's tired of being pregnant. So it feels like there's that sort of like fatigue in the middle of change thing going on. You may need to just rest, drop, take a breather, step away, just take a day off. I feel like this, the answer is connecting with the spirit and realizing that we all have the dark and the light. I'm really drawn to the Tao sign here in the middle of this card. We all have the light and the dark, right? Without the night, we wouldn't have the day, and vice versa. So it feels like it's needing to have things come into balance. Are you putting enough time and energy into self-care? Are you putting enough time and energy? How's the balance between what you're doing out in the world for other people, for your family, for your loved ones, versus what are you receiving for yourself? It feels like it really needs to be in balance. And a lot of Cancers are healers. You're in a profession, or you're moving towards energy. You're the mom. You're the one that's nurturing other people. And so are you receiving that nurturing back? is the question this week. And if you have to ask for help, ask for help. If you need to reach out to someone else to give you some insight, do that. If you need to put yourself on a table and receive some healing energy, do that. It feels like, I mean, the shell feels like it's up. Those cancers, you're in your shell and the pinchers are out. So, you know, you don't always feel, cancers like to know what they can count on. They like to feel safe. And so when you're going through transformation, it doesn't always feel safe. It feels like, oh, weird. This is, ugh. And so just trust that you're on the right track. I feel like you're following your intuition, that you're going through a change that you've initiated. And maybe even though you're not completely through the process, you're going to have a big reward at the end of whenever these lessons wrap up. It feels like it'll be sometime into next year. Like it feels like whatever you've started won't be finishing until next year. But it feels like by the time of your birthdays next year, or if you're looking at a moon or a rising sign, it's, you know, the Cancer time frame, which is like the end of June through the middle of July energy, that thing you will have, your life will look completely different by summertime next year. So just be patient. This too shall pass. Make sure you're meditating and breathing deeply and often, drinking enough water, you know, getting in the water, Cancer, you know, receiving this beautiful energy from the moon. And you may also have felt extra jacked up because your ruling sign is the moon, and we just had a lunar eclipse. So you may have felt like you just got shot through a cannon or something. It's okay. The dust will settle. The fog will clear. You'll be able to, okay, see the whole, I feel like you're getting some future visions too, Cancers, like you're being able to see where you're going or where your destination is, instead of just always being like stuck in your own little shell or just the world of the people around you. It feels like there's some of you, they're getting some really clear signals about what's coming ahead. So you may even get some hits on what's coming ahead for people around you too. Some of you are channels, so you may find yourself channeling to others this week too. That actually feels like it brightens your energy just to be in that healing flow, let energy or words or whatever moving through you. There's definitely some pretty powerful Cancer healers that are watching this, is what I feel. So yeah, we need all hands on deck right now, all the light workers rolling up sleeves and ready to do that. And it feels like you know this, and you know that you're here at this time for a reason. All righty, we'll go to the Leos. I'm hearing, here comes the sun. Dee, 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 dee. It's a bright, happy energy here for the Leos. The moment to moment card is coming up. This is when you get the guidance for the step that you're in right now. What today do I feel guided to do? What this moment do I feel guided to do? And you take that next step. It feels like there's spring in your step, like there's something positive that you're working to or moving towards. You're feeling happy, resilient. Feels like you've come through something that was intensive, and it's like it's lifted off, the clouds have parted. You're building something new, you're working towards something. I'm seeing like in the background these buildings. It feels like you're working towards constructing something. It may be literal, or it could just be an idea that you're constructing, or plans that you're making towards the future. But it feels like you have a sense of direction right now, and you can just stop and go, okay, what today do I do towards my goals, right? I feel like you've already done some goal setting, and then it's just about tapping in every day or each moment to, okay, what can I do towards these goals? What's the next right step? Who do I feel called to call today? Who do I feel called to talk to today? What actions do I need to take? Do I need to write more down that I want to be planning? But it feels like this is a very powerful, potent time for you guys, for sure. There's something with the solar eclipse that's super powerful. Like Leos are ruled by the sun. And so when there's an event that involves the sun in a powerful way, like the solar eclipse will be, um, it feels like it's personal for you Leos. Like there's something brand new, and especially over the next 6 months that you're finding that you're moving. Like maybe you'll go through 3 years worth of growth in the next 6 months. It feels like it's a accelerated growth period. It's almost like it's magic beanstalk seeds time. Like whatever you plant now grows exponentially. So if you haven't started taking action, now's the time. Don't wait any longer. Get it in motion. Go ahead and take that first step. And make sure that you don't get overwhelmed by the big picture, that you visualize the big picture and then you back it up. Okay, what today can I do towards this big picture that I want for my life? So important to have a goal and then work towards it every day right now, Leos, and you'll find some dramatic change happening in your lives. Okay, so Virgos. Patience card. So this could be literally that you're pregnant, Virgos. It could be someone around you is literally pregnant. That comes up. The patience card, though, more often talks about being in a cycle that you're having to wait for the right time for something to come to fruition. You've already planted the seeds. Now it's about being patient and waiting for things to come full circle. Things happen at their divine right time. So you're having to wait. You're having to be patient. Cultivate patience is a virtue, right? But and again, I'm drawn to the moons here. So I feel like you too may have gotten some illumination, some insights with this lunar eclipse. There could have been something powerful. Maybe you were even celebrating this eclipse yourself. It feels like there's a strong tie to some Virgos to the moon. And so you do celebrate the new moons and the full moons. You're aware of where the lunation processes, you're seeing it showing up in your life, or maybe you're beginning to. Um, but it feels like you're headed into a period of fruition, things coming to fruit, like your efforts coming to a close. Like feels like you've been in school and you're nearing the end of the school. You've been putting in the work and the effort and you will be receiving the reward. And but this week it's just about being patient with where you are in the middle of this process. It feels like this week's not the time for it to be ending yet. So it's like, okay, pace yourself. What can I do today? You can hold the vision for what the end looks like today. You can get a lot of insights in your sleep. This woman's eyes closed in meditation. So there's a lot that spirit may be revealing to you in your dreams, in meditation, and spiritual practices right now. Um, and I do feel like that there's a Virgo that's watching this that has been wanting to have a baby or maybe have another child. And so you may even get the news that you are pregnant or you may conceive. Um, I mean, this is a full blown pregnant woman. So this is someone who would know they're pregnant. But I get that there's someone watching this that doesn't know yet, that's wanting to be and is about to conceive. Feels like the souls are hanging around. And so they're about to come through and come in. And if not to you directly, maybe to your child. Maybe this is a grandparent that's a Virgo that's going to be having a downline that's coming in. But there's definitely some pregnancy energy that's real out there. But for most of the Virgos, this is about being symbolic of being in the middle of a process. And the number 7 here is on this card too. So it's also, again, spiritual psychic downloads, receiving information, even receiving insights into the future, prophetic dreams, images for other people. You may be getting a lot of information for others this week. It feels like a lot of this is with yourself, however. Insights that you're getting for you, stuff that you may just want to chew on by yourself, maybe write in your journal, but maybe really not talk about it a lot. So you're receiving some downloads. That's what it feels like, Virgos. So feels very positive, however. All righty, Libras. The mind card's coming up. So Libras is the scales. We go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe this, maybe that. And this card says you're up in your head too much, right? And something may be making you angry, or you're getting frustrated about something, the steam and the fires coming out off these chimneys. So there needs to be an outlet for this energy. You may need to just get physical and go walk it out, running out, climb it out, swim it out. It may be difficult to meditate this week. I mean, usually the antidote for a crazy mind is to get into meditation and stillness. That may feel more difficult to do this week. This is why I feel like getting physical to clear your head may be what you need to do. You may need to talk it out to somebody else, beat it out on a drum or another instrument, dance it out, talk about it to someone else. Something like getting it out of your head, like clearing your brain. There may be someone else's energy that's like, it almost feels like it could be a psychic attack, like somebody else that doesn't want you to be successful, or doesn't like, is thinking about you in a negative way, and that could be bombarding you. That could be literally getting a headache or like sinus allergy attack. And so it feels like it's real important to put up a protective shield around yourself, Libras, and making sure that you're sending any negative vampire-ish kind of, anybody with their voodoo doll energy has no power over you. Make sure you protect yourself. You may need to really apply the essential oils, pick up the stones and the crystals this week to help clear out this mental stuff. It feels more intense than usual. So that you may be trying to figure out how to fix something or resolve something or answer somebody's question, or what do you say back or whatever. And so you're not going to figure it out. You have to receive direction about it. And so in the middle of your negativity or someone else's negativity, it's important just to let, you may have to go into the waters of a soak in the tub, right? You may have to go into the woods. You may have to just stare into a campfire for a while, or a fireplace or a candle. I'm just getting something of the elements to help you get out of your brain and your head. And again, it may be more intensive if someone else is trying to send you negative darts, or you may be in a verbal tug of war or combat with someone else. If you're literally fighting with someone, that can make you feel cray too. But it just feels like making sure you vision being protected this week feels extra important. If you put up that shield, you might feel immediately that the energy feels like it falls away, in which case you can know it's psychic attack. It feels like there could be just some sinus headachy stuff too. So you may need to take some homeopathics when it comes to like alleviating physical symptoms, but that too feels like there's a tension or frustration, like trying to figure something out, and you'll receive the right direction if you can let go of that mind, let go of the weighing it back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and just dropping into your knowing and direction. And again, all you have to do is get guidance for this one day. Okay, how today can I find peace and tranquility? How today can I tap into joy and happiness? How today can I find the insight I need? Right? So there's a need for really targeting for peace and for protecting yourself from the negative energy from others this week, Libras. So all right, Scorpios. The Trust card. So this is trusting yourself, your own intuition. It's trusting the people in your life. Do you feel like you can trust it? Maybe issues of trust that come up. And if something resonates, that doesn't feel right. Or, oh, I mean, Scorpios, you guys are very, very intuitive. So if something feels right, go with it, flow with it. If it doesn't, stop, redirect, do something different. Some of you may be flying, like getting on a plane, going somewhere, traveling. Again, trust your intuition into your the guidance and direction that you're feeling for your life. It just feels like you may be free falling too. Like it's like, oh, I'm stepping out on faith. I hope the universe is going to catch me. And it is a faith walk this week, like faith in yourself. And to me, if it's the trust issues is coming up when it concerns other people, you will be shown very clearly whether the people in your life are trustworthy or they cannot be trusted. Like this is some powerful lessons. And I feel like there's an empowering of yourself this week, Scorpios, like feeling like you can trust yourself. Oh, I got that hit. That's exactly, I can take that leap. There's a catapulting yourself forward here. Yeah, this feels super powerful and freeing. Scorpios can be, protective and standoffish and let me watch and see. So to take this big leap of faith, this really feels like it comes up a lot in your relationships with other people. Can I open my heart and be truthful and honest to these people in my life, to this person in my life? And if your gut is saying no, then trust that. If your gut is saying, yes, I can, but it feels weird, it's okay. I feel like you're going to get feedback immediately this week. You're going to get back, oh, I can trust myself. I can trust this person. Or you can get back, nope, I can't trust this person. And I knew I couldn't. You may find out some information about someone this week. Like maybe your intuition is telling you something about someone in your life, positive or negative. To me, you get a confirmation this week. So the universe is showing you the answers that you're seeking. So you can trust your own inner direction about that. If you can operate from your intuition this week, what today do I feel guided to do? What this moment do I feel guided to do? And take action based on that. It could be a powerful week where you're really trusting life and the universe and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, it feels like you're weighing something out. Like my hands are like balancing like the Libra scales. It's like it feels like you're maybe needing to make a decision. And so you can trust yourself in what way feels right. You can always pick up a pendulum and use it to answer a yes or no question. It's important to steal yourself, but I'm just going to show you. Most of you Scorpios probably already know about how to use a pendulum. This is my pendulum. You can always just hang something on a necklace. You can pick up the end of a necklace that's hanging, anything where you can just hold the end freely and tightly, but not moving it. And then ask your pendulum or ask the necklace to show you what is a yes. Show me a yes. Show me a no. Right? And then go. Okay. Is Peter trustworthy? Yeah. Is Susie trustworthy? And maybe not so much. You know what I mean? That's just an example. So I'm feeling that you can break it down to some yes or no questions and just pick up a pendulum this week, Scorpios. All righty. Sagittariuses. Sun's moving into your sign. It's about birthday time. The healing card is coming up. So it feels like this is a week where you are receiving healing. So you're receiving some psychological healing. That may be through a therapist or a friend that you talk to that just reassures you in some way. You may literally be on the table of a healer getting body work or acupuncture or Reiki or chiropractic care. You may be going to a doctor and having something, but it feels like you're on the receiving end of some healing energy. This can even just be you lying in your bed and receiving healing and downloads from spirit, from your spirit guides. Um, it feels like there's been something that's been psychologically plaguing you, like I can't work. There's been something you haven't been able to work through psychologically, and it feels like this week you can. There's like an aha. There's a lift off. There's feeling like whatever's gone down is now over, and you can be at more peace and like start a new cycle here with your birthday energy of beginning anew. This eclipse energy feels super powerful, especially the eclipse. The solar eclipse is going to be in your sign, so it could really be heralding a new beginning for you, Sagittarius. And it feels very powerful. It could be very still and subtle this week. Like it feels like the changes are on the inside this week, not so much on the outside, but you can feel something shift deeply on the inside that then gets out pictured next week, next month, next year. But it feels like that you're headed into a just a transformational time here over the next 6 months is what it feels like. And that this eclipse season is definitely specific to you guys. I'm also getting like this whole heart chakra area opening. So it may be that you're opening up to new love. You're opening up to a deeper love of a current situation you're already in. There's a flowering of the heart. So this may be time to put yourself out there if you're a single Sag and you're ready to find your person and you're really wanting that physical touch from another human being. I feel like there's some Sagittarius that are isolating themselves and wanting connection with others, but yet are staying alone. So that's not the way. Like to me, step out, follow your intuition, whether that's getting online and doing online dating or going out to some of the events that are happening out in your community over these holiday times, saying yes to a Friendsgiving. It just feels like being ready for things to shift for you. Like, I don't feel like you're going to keep dragging the same paradigm forward, like you're healing an old karmic pattern, beginning a completely new one. And this week feels like it's a pivotal time for you to stop to envision. Do you have a vision for what you do want in your life? What kind of people you want to draw in and attract, how you want your physical body to feel, how you want to feel emotionally, mentally. Creativity feels like it could really be flowing. You could get some new creative ideas and want to dance it out, paint it out, play it out, cook it out. Like it just feels like there's some creative juices stirring. There's a shift. There's like, it's almost like when the wind starts bringing in the new cold front, but this feels like it's warm air that's coming in. Even though we're headed into a colder climate, the energy is like warmth and healing that's coming in. So it feels like there's someone coming in to your life that it may be a healer themselves. um so I'm getting the feeling that there's like new people, new connections. Maybe you're going to a new healer, um or there's someone coming into your life that is a healer. There's something activated about the hands, or someone who has a lot of, maybe they work with their hands a lot. There's something about the healing energy of someone else's hands, and maybe holding hands with someone that's coming in for the Sagittarius. Okay, Capricorns. The Master card is coming up. So this is you accessing your higher self, like having a sense that your best self is coming out, that you have the wisdom within you, that you have the insight. You may have that mirrored back to you by someone else. You may be having that confirmed this week. It's like you may have a good idea and somebody else has that it blurts it out of their mouth. You're like, that's what I was just thinking. There's like a mirroring, a validation of what your gifts and talents are this week, Capricorns, where your strengths lie. Um, yeah, this is you accessing that master self within, your best self, your highest self. It feels like a very powerful, good week for yourself. Maybe you get accolades at your work, or the people in your life are telling you how much they value you. Maybe you're getting some extra insights just directly, but there's like a clear seeing this week, being able to look at yourself and see your strengths and feel accomplished and good about yourself in a very powerful way. Yeah, insights I'm hearing. Insights, guidance, wisdom seems to be flowing to you and from you this week too. I'm also getting this background energy that looks kind of like the woods. So you may need to break away from others and go into the woods. And that may just be sort of a symbolic, could be literal for some of you too. Like, I need to just get into the woods, go for a hike, create a campfire somewhere away from people. But there's just a like a strong download that feels like it's coming. This full moon lunar eclipse feels like it was powerful for you as well. You might have gotten some vivid dreams or some insights over these last few days. Anyway, I feel like there's a very clear seeing of the path that lies ahead, the direction that you're headed, what you know you need to do to achieve your goals is what it feels like. It feels like you know your strengths, you know how to get to where you're going, and all you need to do is do the one day at a time right now. But this feels very powerful, powerful week for the Capricorns. All right, Aquarians. The We Are the World card. So this feels like you've come through a lot. Like, this card represents the ultimate in potentiality, when you're connected to everyone around the globe, when there's nothing that's limiting you, where you can see your highest potential, that you can do anything, be anywhere, get connected even to the universe here. This is like taking off any limited thinking and just have this expanded sense of self, this sense of hope, connecting with others, feeling like you're part of a larger community. You may be planning some global travel, or you may be hearing from someone who is from another place on the planet, or connecting with people that are from other cultures, other connections. You may be gathering together like with a friend group. Could be family as well, but it feels like I'm feeling a lot of diversity. See all the different colors here of the people around us. There's a rainbow coalition here going on. So this is like, and these people are all dancing together. So this is like a joyful, happy, expansive, seeing anything's possible. Feels like you've come out of a tunnel and are like opening up to expansion. It feels like you've come through some difficult times and things are starting to shift for you. It feels like you're excited about moving into next year, what's ahead, making plans for the future. There's also going to be just a call to wanting to help heal the planet and connecting with other people that are working on that together. This is like the global citizen energy. Aquarians, you guys are the lovers of the unique and the different. So this could just be appreciating your very diverse circle of friends, but it's definitely feels like a social week, connecting with others, feeling unlimited, that anything is possible. And it feels like you haven't been always feeling that way. It feels like it's been a bit intensive. So it feels like, finally I'm feeling this sense of freedom, the sense of, oh, I can move through this portal and come out the other side of it. I can come back and socialize again. I can connect with others. It feels like you may have been sort of tunnel vision and to yourself. And now you're like, oh, going to be moving into a place of feeling like I'm ready to party. I'm ready to dance. I'm ready to celebrate. So, and then we have the Pisces. This is the dream card. So this card comes up for usually two things. One is when you're trying to envision a dream, an ideal scene, whether that's in terms of a relationship, whether it's in terms of a career or a creative project. This is you having a vision. You're being able to see and get clear about what you want in your life. This also comes up more frequently to represent people who are in a relationship and they're trying to see the best in their partner, see the best in the situation, see the potential of the relationship. But the reality is that they're sitting here by themselves. And so what they're actually experiencing is not this. This happens a lot with healers and psychic people who can see the best in someone. You can see someone's highest potential. You can see their higher self, their divine self. Oh, I can just sense this potential. What are you getting on a daily basis? Are you getting this vision in real life? Chances are this is what you're getting. You're just hoping to receive that. This could happen in all kinds of relationships. It can be a work relationship. It can be a family member. But this is like take an assessment. What are you actually getting today? Not what the potential is, especially if you're in a relationship that's been going on for quite some time and you keep hoping that this person will change, that they'll bring out their best self, but you spend a lot of time here being alone and feeling alone, even if you're in a relationship, that this may be a time to realize this is not working for me anymore. I need to do something different with my life. So, um, so it may be time to visualize that dream and what you want for your life, or it may be time to have a come to Jesus moment and realize I'm not getting what I really want and I haven't been, and not expecting someone to change. If you're in a relationship hoping that the person will change, it can really be a trap, right? And this is a trap of a lot of healers because we have the potential to see someone else's potential. We can see it. We can tap into their higher self. We can connect with that. But is that person themselves tapped into their higher self? Are they aware of it? Are they bringing their best self forward? Or is it just latent potential that you can sense? Really, only you can answer that question. So only you know if it's time to visualize a dream or it's time to see clearly what's really going on. So that's what I get for all 12 signs. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate it so much. Again, subscribe, share it with your friends, give me some feedback, let me know if you've been appreciating these videos and what you appreciate about them. I'd love to hear it. Peace.